Hi, I'm Tiffany Johannes with Remax Executive and Charlotte Home Experts. Tonight I'm here to talk to you about what do you do if you're a first-time seller? We always talk about that first-time buyer, but we don't talk about the first-time seller often, and also give you a market update. What's happening in our area, in our region, in Charlotte? There's been a lot going on, and so let's get started. In this workshop, we're going to talk about, again, the market, how to price your house if you're a first-time seller, what to think about negotiations-wise, how to prepare it, and then strategic planning. There's several different ways you can sell your home. And oftentimes I have sellers saying, well, how am I going to sell if I don't find something first? I'm going to give you a few pointers on that as well. So let's get started. Charlotte market. What's going on with our prices? Days on the market and showings and inventory. Those are the key things we all want to know about when we're looking at the market. So from price standpoint, you will be amazed when we look at what's happened from 2019 to 2020 to 2021. Our prices have gone from $301,000 on average as a sales price back in 2019 to $379,701. That's a lot. And that is about 18% year over year from 2020 to 2021. But we had growth last year too in the 6.5% to 7%. So if you've been watching the market, or if you even bought a home in the last 6 months to a year, your home has appreciated a great deal. So if you're a first-time seller and you were just recently a first-time buyer and you're thinking, hey, I might want some of this equity out of my house, now could be the time. There are lots of different reasons to sell. And I've had some people that have made a lot of money off of selling homes in a short period of time. So prices are up in Charlotte. We've been asking and being heard, what's happening? Are we going to see a decline? Are we going to continue to appreciate? Well, we are going to continue to appreciate. This year, we're on pace because we still have low inventory, which I'll show you in a minute. But we also don't expect a huge dip. When you look at the economists across the country, at the big firms, the big groups, they're all saying we're not going to see a huge dip. So don't worry about that if you're thinking about buying or selling. Days on market. How long does it take to sell your house? And this is where strategy comes into play when we start talking about how to list your house, how to get moving. Days on the market last month were 14 days. 14 days. Yes, I said it right. We were 37 days this time last year. On average, year to date, houses are selling on the market for only 20 days on average. So that's a quick amount of time. And that's why you've got to have all your ducks in a row before we get you listed. We want to make sure you are ready, that you are seasoned, and that you can make that transition smoothly and with as few headaches as possible. What's happening with showings? We have some homes that are getting 27, 28 showings instantaneously on average. Each home is being shown 9.5 times before it goes under contract. So we did see a little bit of slowing in the number of multiple offers, the number of traffic that we were seeing on homes in the month of July leading into August. And I think that really was, we all had a pent-up demand to travel. And so from about July 4th through school started this week, we have seen a little bit of a slowdown, but I think that's buyers just getting out, having a vacation, and getting back into the market. So if you're a seller, don't fret. And we're also seeing inventory start to rise a little bit. So from an inventory standpoint, 10,000 homes back in 2019 to 4,000 now, that seems a little bit shocking. But we were down as much as 60% year over year back in March in the spring season. Right now, we're back down to about 42%. So that means more sellers are starting to put their houses on the market. And that's a good thing for buyers because interest rates are still incredibly low. So if you're a seller and a buyer in the same market, you're getting the equity in your home as well as getting a fantastic interest rate. So let's talk a little bit more about how do I go about selling my home? We're going to talk a little bit about pricing, negotiations, and how do you prepare your home and get it ready to stage. There are multiple different ways you can sell your home, but from a traditional standpoint, as we get rolling, you've got some prep work to do. And my team and I are here to guide you through that process. We have a concierge service that helps with anything that might need to get done to your home to prepare it to sell to get you the most amount of money. Occasionally, a few small tweaks can get you a tremendous uplift in the value, even beyond what you would see in a normal sell. Second, we have a stager, someone who comes in, who makes sure we declutter your house. We help you with anything and everything you need to do to be prepared, so you're not at it alone. We have nice checklists, and we have information and resources and a team that work with you in a traditional sale. From a pricing standpoint, Your home gets a lift if we prepare your home to sell, not the way you live in it. And you might live in a model home all the time, but you'd be 1 out of 10 maybe. So from a standpoint of preparing your house, we help guide you and prepare you in that process. From a pricing standpoint, we're going to look at the market. What is happening in your neighborhood, in your area? What prices did your neighbor's home sell for? How did they compare to yours in condition? How did they compare to yours when you look at it from a standpoint of finishes and upgrades? Size a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. Just because your neighbor's home sold for $350,000 doesn't mean that's what yours is going to sell for. And so knowing the facts and the details is important. I actually had an experience with a seller about a week ago where I was bringing the buyer, and the buyer happened to have a conversation with the neighbor next door before I got there. The neighbor said, "You know what, honey, you're probably going to get a great deal on this house because it's been sitting on the market." Well, truth be told, it had sat on the market, but it had been under contract, and no fault of the sellers fell out of contract due to financing or another contingency. And so there were multiple offers again. And that's what's happening in today's market. And if you don't know what's going on and you don't have an agent who's going to know what's happened in the neighborhood or in the area, you might be leaving something on the table, or you might not get that next house. So from a pricing standpoint, we're going to be as aggressive as possible, but we don't want to overprice you because we don't want it sitting out there. We'd rather people bid it up a little bit than have it sit and no one want to make an offer because they don't see the value. And we're going to talk through that, and I'm going to analytically show you those numbers. And as we are looking, let's see, negotiations. What are we doing in negotiations? Well, negotiations is us making sure that we're putting your house on the market to where you get the best opportunity for multiple offers in today's market. And with multiple offers, oftentimes there are things like due diligence fees, due diligence time periods, earnest money deposit. Are you going to do any repairs on your home that you need to consider? North Carolina and South Carolina have different rules and ways to do things, but working with a seasoned agent, you're going to know what to expect. I actually had a client come to me recently where they had put their home under contract with the personal sale before they got to me. It was a referral from someone else. And they accepted an amount of due diligence that was really just unacceptable. And it put them in not such a good position. So if you're thinking about selling alone, talk to a professional first, because you're probably going to get a good bit more money based on what we see in the market, and you're going to get a good bit more security in that contract. Preparation and staging. Talked about that a little bit already, but you can never be as prepared as you need to be without a professional by your side and without a team. Because if you need to do fixes, you need to do updates. Sometimes it's hard right now in the marketplace to get vendors to come and service your house. We work with vendors all the time and have a secure team of people who we trust that will come to your house and take care of things that you need to have taken care of, and in a timely fashion. We've actually got a program coming out called Concierge that I think you will be quite surprised with, and you will love it. So ask me about that the next time we chat. These traditional sales is what I do and I work with you on typically, and that's what you would expect. You're walking through a process. We guide you step by step through that process. We're making sure that we're getting you there. But in our planning and thinking through, we've got to think about more things in today's market because there's more opportunity for our sellers. And each seller has a different way of thinking through things and a different way that their house might need to sell, or it might be the best bet for them to sell. Right now, as you look at the compass of what we've got out there, you've got Zillow and OfferPad and Open Door. You're probably getting those postcards in your mail all the time. With that, those are people who can buy your house outright. Now, there are a number of fees associated with it, and you can always have a realtor help guide you through that process because Zillow, OfferPad, and Open Door are in it for themselves. They're buying your house. So anything that seems to be too good to be true, you probably need to consider it and have a professional discussion to make sure you're understanding the fees and any implications. That might be the best way to sell your house, but you just want to have that counsel and guidance and assurance on one of your biggest investments. Next, we've got Easy Knock, Knock, and Ribbon. Those are programs designed to help you step to your next home pretty easily. One of them actually has a home swap. And so let's talk about that. Knock Home Swap. These programs have some fees and costs associated with them, but sometimes the security of the deal makes sense for that transition, particularly with interest rates where they are today and with the market appreciation, what we're seeing 1 to 2% a month right now. So you get approved with Easy Knock, you buy your new home first, they combine the mortgages. It's a combination that really makes sense for certain buyers and sellers. So as I'm walking through this, what I want to say is each of these programs has pros and cons, and it depends on what you need to do. Knock allows you to have some money to make some repairs on your existing home if you need to, which with our concierge program, that might not be something you even need to consider. And secondly, the maximization of being able to move over to that next home. It's a good program. Let's talk through what it makes sense for you. If you engage me, what I do is I put together side by side showing you comparisons if this is a program you need. It might not be something you need. I was talking to a seller that's buying new construction, and we did a home equity line for him so that he could put the down payment on his next home and not be strained at home. So there's different opportunities and ideas. You just need to brainstorm and talk with a professional to really flesh out what the best strategy is for you. Ribbon. Been around for a long time, has helped a number of my clients over the years. It will buy the house, your new house for you if you're a seller trying to figure out where you want to go. They do a non-contingent cash offer on your new house. They do an appraisal on it, and we offer whatever up to the max amount they say and what you're comfortable with. If for some reason your house, it doesn't appraise when the lender goes to appraise it and you're buying it from them, they guarantee the price. So they pay the seller that much anyway. So this is a really cool program. It allows you to rent back from them until you sell your home. So it's a nice transition. It's not for everyone, but it's something we should always consider when you're looking at buying your next home and you don't want the two mortgages. And in today's market, there's not that much chance you're going to have a whole lot of overlap, but we want to make sure we're keeping you comfortable and in a place that makes sense for you. And that's not the same for everyone. That's why we have different options and why the marketplace has come up with different solutions. So the next is instant offers. You've got Zillow, OfferPad, and Open Door. They all bring something different to the table. They are definitely in our market. And taking a look at it with a realtor is one thing, but taking a look at it by yourself doesn't give you that broad view. So if you're thinking about one of these, let us help you be your agent to make sure you broker the best deal with one of these guys. They could be the right solution if you don't want people in your home or you just don't want to fuss with anything. It could be the best money you're going to get, or it could be a pretty low offer. It really depends case by case. So no matter what you decide, you should probably have a consultation, or I know you should have a consultation with a realtor, whether it's myself or someone else that you know. Make sure they're seasoned and they know what they're talking about and they're well-versed in all of the programs and offerings today. Any agent can come to you and traditionally sell your house. Not every agent has taken the time to do the education, training, and understand the resources available in today's market. It's imperative that you find that agent and that you work with them so that they can get you the best possible price with the least convenience to you, and making sure that you take the right steps to get to where you want to go. If you work with me, I'm going to bring this listing and selling your home guide that kind of walks through the listing process step by step. It has checklists in it. It has pictures showing you what to expect and what things should look like. We also talk through inspections and really just kind of walk you through the process, because we want to make sure if we're coming to list your home, you want someone who's going to get professional pictures, someone who's going to do a Matterport, someone's going to have your home measured. And then if drone footage is something that makes sense, we ought to do it. But you want someone who's coming with a package that's professional, because you want your home presented in the best possible light. After all, it's typically your biggest investment, and you don't want to trust it to someone who's not seasoned or who is not in the business every day. I don't think when you look at your occupation and what you do for a living, if someone just stepped in and said they were going to do it for the day, or they stayed at a Holiday Inn last night, that it's going to get the job done quite like you would. So make sure that you're vetting your agent, make sure that you're looking at your options and making sure you're making the right move for yourself. So with our process of working with you on the traditional sale, we're going to do a whole lot of things to make sure you're comfortable and we best present your house. And whether we're presenting it to an investor, which there are a number of investors in our market today. I mentioned the top ones, but there are smaller groups that do a lot in our community that might be of interest in your home. So depending on where you live and what the dynamics are, we might be able to vet other opportunities that you would have never thought of had you not come to talk to us about selling your home. Being that first time seller, you're really looking at the market and you're trying to figure out, when do I tiptoe into it? What do I need to do? Sometimes we end up with buyers and sellers who are not sure how to move forward. Maybe since COVID, you can work from home and you can work from anywhere, and you want to take advantage of that. We can help you get from point A to point B. It's all a matter of working through to figure out what your timing is, what your budget is, and what the finances look like. Because there are some of us that can buy and sell without selling our initial home. There are others that don't. Some questions that I've gotten from you guys out there I wanted to answer tonight. Several people submitted some questions. And so one of them was the best online marketing plan to attract the most buyers at your home possible. That is really hitting a lot of different components, whether it's social media, whether it is going out there and remarketing to people that we already have in our database, or sharing information with local agents. We put together a strategy that works for your home. Using professional photography is the key, but then the vehicle and the message to get it there. And we look at each home individually and present you a plan. Simple way to get rid of stuff from over the years in your home. One of the last times I moved, we had a huge dumpster out front, and I swear I could not believe how much stuff we had. But from a standpoint of getting rid of stuff, we have clutter consultants and stagers that help with that. And we have many different groups that can come in and help you make that move if it's a little too tough for you or you can't lift the heavy lifting. There are also a ton of charities out there that will take different items, and we're happy to pair you with the right groups based on what your needs are. There's some fantastic local groups in our area that would love your well-loved items. Then the other questions I've gotten is how to time a sell correctly if you need to buy and sell at the same time. Looking at that, I think I've answered the question already, but you've got to make sure that you understand how much you're going to get out of your home, what type of loan you're going to get on your new home, and how you're going to transition if you're buying a new home. Oftentimes we're sitting down looking at the numbers, and we're making sure that we've got every cost involved, so you know a really good idea of what type of equity to expect out of your home. So you'll know, am I going to use that for a down payment? Am I going to pay off some bills? Am I going to put it in savings for retirement or to pay our child's college education? Whatever you need to do with it. And then what does that next house look like from a financing standpoint? Seeing how quick we were from a time on the market to under contract, we need to have your financing tied up. So if you're buying a new house, no matter what method you're doing it, I'm going to want you to get fully pre-approved, and you're going to want to as well, because the way houses are moving, you've got to have that. And you've got to have that security of knowing what you can do so that we can best strategize a plan for you. Depending on what type of financing you're doing, we might need to use a ribbon program or the home swap program or the easy knock program. There are lots of different options out there. Talked about a lot tonight. But the one thing I want you to remember and think about is as you're making that decision or even thinking about selling, whether it's tomorrow, next month, next year, or 5 years down the road, have a conversation with me or your realtor to make sure you understand clearly what your goals and objectives are and how we can get you there through strategy. I'm looking around. I think I have answered all of the questions that are out there. But tonight we were talking to first-time sellers and even any seller about what do you do when you're ready to sell? What do you need to consider, think about, look at? Giving you a lot to consider, giving you that market update. And just wanted to say, we really appreciate you taking the time and spending it with us tonight, learning about the different tools that we have in our toolbox to help make a difference when you go to sell your first home. If there's anything I can personally do, no cost, to come out and just chat with you or do a Zoom call with you about how to buy and sell, I'm happy to do that. I'm Tiffany Johannes with RE/MAX Executive and Charlotte Home Experts. Thank you for your time tonight, and I hope you have a great evening.